Songs about rainbows and what's on the other. Hey, Cesaro. All right, here we go. Let's see if Susan graces us with any notifications. Man, what the hell? My chair just developed a squeak that's annoying the hell right out of me. In fairness, I've developed a lot of squeaks recently that are annoying the hell right out of me too. But the chair, I think I can do more about. And Willie's here, Cole and Steve, Justin and Jeff, Colonel, John Han, Corrupted Gamer, Tyler, Cody, Ocho, Super Saiyan Sun Oreku. Well, guys, for many of you know, it was a long night for us last night. 5.5 hour stream last night, charting the election results. And when all was said and done, or, well, what appears to be said and done, my predictions were pretty good. I didn't miss very many places. Let's see, I think I missed Arizona. Arizona's going to go Biden. I had that wrong. Yeah, that might be the only one I missed, right? Did I miss something else? Oh, Nevada. I had Arizona and Nevada both going Trump. I might have missed those two. But other than that, I think I had them. And yes, this is the Curtis 2024. This is the kickoff of my campaign for the presidency in 2024. I figure it's a good time to start because this is a clusterfuck. What we have right now is just, it's not working, and it's not working on any level, and it's not going to work anytime soon because it doesn't matter who we elect. It didn't matter if it was Trump or Biden. It's still going to be as desperately divided as it's ever been, and probably just going to continue getting worse because we already know that Trump is divisive. Biden will have no choice but to be divisive because to get elected, he had to court the extremists in his party. Now those extremists are going to want payback for it. So you're going to have fissures within the Democrats themselves. Fuck you, train. Along with the fissures that are out here between Democrats and Republicans generally. There is nobody going to run for the goddamn presidency that will honestly, sincerely sit down and say, okay, let's just do what's most fair. Every single issue, let's look at all the details, all the facts, let's break it down and do what's most fair for everybody. Let's hear what you guys over here on the right have to say. Let's hear what you guys over here on the left have to say. Let's take all that, put it together in a pot, mix it up, and see what truth comes out of it.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. So I say, I say, you guys vote for a semi-brain damaged, ex-professional wrestler, ex-garbage man, and I will make everybody play together. Everybody's got to get along, or they can get left fucking behind. I can speak still, Timothy. It was one of the only times I never like even take power naps. I just have too much to do during the days. I had to give in today. I got a couple of my videos recorded at 5:30 this morning, like I always do, and I'm like, now I got through those two, and I was about to start another one. It's like, you know what though? You guys do come here for entertainment, and I don't feel like I'm being as entertaining as I should be because my mind's not working, so I had to go lay down for a little bit. Brian says, update, alcohol showed up last night. Somehow I'm not in jail. That's always a positive. At least so far not in jail. Who knows? Goddamn, everybody with cameras around now and stuff. But I'm gonna say you're gonna be all right. Dan, yeah, I was a professional wrestler for a long time. Curtis McTrain, new vice president 2024. LFX says, no, the train, when I become president, the train's in trouble. There's going to be significant legislation passed. Not against the railroad industry itself, against these specific assholes that keep screwing up our streams. Now, you guys realize that once I am president, we are going to continue. Would they allow the president to do that? I just thought of that. Will I be allowed to live stream to you guys while I'm president? Why not? Right? You think the White House staff, the people we employ at the highest levels of government, can't secure a signal? We should. Polls are rigged. Kanye is not on there. Streamline Funny says, if you get elected, can we get government issued hentai? I would, well, see, you already brought up a bugaboo issue for me because obviously it made me stutter and stammer. I went full on Biden when you said that. I don't know that I can promise government issued hentai. I can promise that government will not interfere in your hentai. Kiva says, settle Kaiba for president. Make America shut up again.
Yeah.
Turn America into Mokuba. And shut up. uh, you know what? And this is obviously partially tongue in cheek. If you guys are on board with me, you guys, we got 91 people in here so far. You guys being the core base of our group here. If you guys are willing to support me, again, as an ex-professional wrestler, ex-garbage man, running for president, I am officially announcing my candidacy as long as you guys are on board. And I will. The difference between me and everybody else is I won't pander to anybody. I will not say what I think you want me to say to get you to vote for me. I will tell you straight down the line how I feel about everything and how I will legislate on everything, how I will govern on every goddamn thing. I'm just so tired of, and this is both sides completely, of being lied to, of being misled. I'm tired of people pandering to get votes. I just want to have somebody that, again, as a president, comes out and says, okay, name the topic. Give me any topic, whatever it is, whether it's healthcare, whether it's LGBTQ rights. Let's sit down and talk about it and see what's most fair for everybody. What works out the best. Take everybody's concerns into consideration and do what the best you can. Because I don't see that happening at any level of government that I can see. Trump is still allowed to tweet, so why not? Good point, Timothy. Yeah, I think I should be able to have live streams with you guys. And as far as, let me put one more thing out there as far as my presidency. I don't even want to run for president. Who the fuck wants to be president? You guys know my life. I want to go play in my over 55 baseball league. I want to take my Disney World trips every year. All that stops. But I can't, I am so concerned. Andrew Wilson, Stream Boss. I am so concerned right now for the future, for my kids and my grandkids, that it's got to end. You know, this whole divisiveness shit's got to end. Now, I'm not saying that somebody like me can come along and put an end to divisiveness. I can put an end to divisiveness within the legislating process. Instead of beholding to one side or the other. As far as I'm concerned, when I'm president, extremists, and I mean the extreme extremists on both sides, they can go fuck themselves. Because we don't care what the extremists have to say. We want to do things that are right by the people who have just a fair-minded way of looking at things. If president, does that mean ban all trains? I had thought about that, Stephen, but I would assume, as in any industry, even though the trains that come by here are total assholes, there are probably some good trains in there and a lot of good, a lot of good railroad workers who shouldn't be affected. So I'm going to figure a way to get back at just these specific trains that annoy me. Oh, and I will add a tax somehow, some way to the one or several conductors that go by here and blow the horns extremely long and loud. I mean, they start from 2 miles down the road and they lay on that thing until they're 2 miles the other side. Run with Golden as your VP. I would do that, Andrew, but it would be counterproductive. You know that fucker's gonna kill me as soon as we win. He's gonna stab me in the back. He's gonna cut my throat. He's gonna do something. He's gonna take over. So it would be counterproductive for me. There's no doubt he would kill me immediately as soon as the final votes were tallied. Brian says, I'll vote only if you come to the podium with Common Man theme song from Dusty Rhodes Polka Dot. Oh, remember that? that was some good shit. That would be perfect for our campaign too. And this is why now we're not going, don't get me wrong, guys, we're not going to like go 100% political streams here, but this is going to be a major recurring theme. This is where I'm going to talk about what my views, my takes are on everything, and I'm going to count on you guys. If you're supporting me, get out there. We'll get the word out. We'll get tons of people in here, and we'll actually start to make them have to pay attention to us a little bit. Andrew says, this is why I said we should have a multi-party system. With different views in each party, you vote for the party which usually support the most on issues. I agree, Andrew, but you know why that won't work is, again, we saw it again. When it's, believe it or not, as bizarre as this sounds, and you know, we are speaking somewhat tongue-in-cheek here, but an individual I think in this day and age of the closeness of technological means of communicating, would have a better chance of getting support like a Kanye as an individual than you would within a party. The reason being, the third parties, as happened to the Libertarians again last night, they're going to get beaten down by the Republicans and the Democrats because everybody's going to guilt trip the third party voters into you're wasting your vote. If Trump gets back in, it's on you. And that's the exact same thing that happened. And last I saw, the Libertarians were getting like, what, 1.2% of the vote? And plus, as a party, for me, there are no third party organizations, I mean, high profile enough ones that I'm aware of them, that go down the line more in line with the way I look at things than do Democrats or Republicans. There's nothing, to me, there's nothing earth shattering or nothing really, nothing to get excited about there. Who's ready for the series finale of the U.S.? Well, that's Michael. That's a good point. That's what we worry about now. As you guys saw, those of you who have been with me through these political streams, and I know I see a lot of you here are regulars. That's just what we were talking about last week. The worst case scenario as far as potential violence would be if Trump is ahead on election night and then in the following days he loses. And what the fuck did we get? It's 2020. You knew that in 2020, no matter what, when I said, okay, here's the worst case scenario for violence, whatever followed, that's what was going to happen because it's 2020 and that's the way shit works. Dark Slaver says, make all train conductors wear extra stupid hats. There you go. Now that's what I'm talking about. See, I'm a big believer in, I like people that want to get out there and work. I would never do anything as president to cut jobs or to demean anyone's profession as far as not allowing them to do what they want to do. But yes, that's quality. It's like, okay, you can be, I have huge respect for you, train conductors. I have huge respect for you folks who work on the rail lines. But for what you did to me for all those years, you have to wear this stupid hat. Madman says, you're running for real. I'll get you votes. And what is the warmest organ in a woman after death? Madman. That's just... For those, again, I mentioned before, back in the day when we used to do the joke streams and stuff, Mad Mint was one of our main perpetrators of joke. Yes. Yes, I'm running for real. Will I get... There's 223, according to this tally, viewers in here right now. Out of that, if I can get 50 of you guys to vote for me, that might be all we see. But I've had it, you guys. I'm serious. I've had it, and I got thinking about it last night after the stream, and we were all talking about it, and I was so pleased with 5.5 hours of a political stream. I'm just fixing this chat here. And it stayed cordial and kind the entire time. And I got thinking about that. Not only was I wildly impressed by that fact, but it's because there is that middle ground. The majority of people don't want to be extremists. They don't want to fight about everything. And I think that on a small scale bears that out. And nobody can survive. And it's not even the candidates' faults anymore. The political landscape is so divided that to get a nomination for either party, you have to be a bit of an extremist, or at least you have to play their games. And that's bullshit. Tui, if you get in, does that mean you not have to unbiasedly represent the Spaz Shares, Afro Mics, and Trains of the world? Yeah, see, you guys know me too well. Tui asked a tough question right away. If I get in, I'm not in yet, so fuck you, Train. now, let's be fair, I'm not in yet. If I get in, yes, I will pledge to unbiasedly represent Afro Mike, unbiasedly represent the Trains, and unbiasedly represent Spaz Chair. May he rot in hell. And I don't even believe in hell, and may he rot there. Yes, you have my word. I knew that. See, now what I'm 15 minutes into my candidacy, and I'm already having to answer the tough questions. And another thing I promise you guys in my administration, and this I mean sincerely, we will never lose our sense of humor. No matter how tough things get, I would love to see a commander-in-chief who can come out to the people and talk to them just like a real person and have a sense of humor about whatever it is. And when need be reassuring without being pandering. Even if it's the COVID thing, if you guys want, I'll even do that. I'll give you my little speech. What would I say right now if I were president and I had to address the American people on COVID? And I'll tell you exactly what it is. Andrew says, but how do you change the Dems and Republicans from being too extreme like they are right now? There's no middle ground. It's either there or no way. See, I don't entirely agree with that, Andrew. I think there are extremist wings, and you're right. That's gonna be the tough part. There are extremist wings, but I think the extremists tend to be the loudest, but not necessarily the biggest in number. And maybe I'm being too optimistic in that I have faith that if somebody was seen as genuinely being willing and telling both sides, you're not going to get everything you want. As president, I'm going to do the very best I can to make the decision that I think is fairest for all. And in doing so, I'm going to get information. I'm not a college educated guy. I had a little bit of schooling in journalism. That's it. So I don't have the wealth of knowledge of a Bill Clinton or somebody like that. But as president, you have access to the greatest minds in the world. So on any topic, it's easy to call in. For me, it's easy to call in and say, okay, you guys here on this side, you guys here on this side, send me your best and tell me what you know about this topic. Have a conversation. I'm going to be a voyeur. Just have a conversation about it. Let me glean what you know. And then it'll be my job to take that information and make the best call. I think there's a plurality of people out there who would go, all right, that's cool. I'm fair with that. I would rather have that than take the risk of the other extreme side beating me in an election. That's what you hope for. So I don't think that's true. I think the majority of people that we have in our streams and did last night, even when we had a ton of people in here, just from talking to you guys and everything, I think the majority of people here would much rather have a situation like that than to have any type of extreme ideology put in place. Madmint says, a vote for Curtis is a vote for anime titties. Absolutely. And a vote for anime titties is a vote for America, Curtis 2024. I like that. I like that. I like that tagline. That's another thing, too. As president, if I got to go out and meet with heads of state, I'm not gonna embarrass you guys. I'll be out there in a nice suit and looking as sharp as this can look. But you know what? If I'm sitting in the White House one night and it's like, there's something really on my mind that I want to share with America, and I say, hey, get me some cameras. I either see if the networks want to stream this or whatever the case, but get this word out there. I'm going to talk to you with my anime shirt on. Why can't you just, I don't know, why can't you just be a regular person? And people say, well, there's a certain level of decorum one must hold as president. That's true. But I don't think there's anything non-decorous, whatever the word is, about being who you are and wearing your Sea of Space Cowboy t-shirt to talk to people. Money in My Mind says, make the Akatsuki an official branch in the Army. I like that. I like that, Money in My Mind. Oh, yeah, that would be... Oh, they would have such badass uniforms. Those Akatsuki robes on a special military sect. Yeah. As a matter, it's funny you guys brought that up. Two of our staff members here that work with my daughter, my disabled daughter in the house, are also good friends of ours. And they both have little ones, one boy and one girl. And for our one staff, Carly, she's an anime fan. She's the only anime fan I have in my day-to-day life around me. Excuse me. And her son, Brandon, a cute little dude, I was in the store the other day and I found a button-down Akatsuki shirt in 2T. So she'll be here today. It'll be the first time I've seen her. I've seen her since the weekend. I bought him that Akatsuki shirt because he's going to be a little badass with that on. R.W. Bimby says, if Trump wins, the black hoodies will smash, loot, and burn cities. If Biden wins, the black hoodies will smash, loot, and burn cities, like Minneapolis. Yeah. Well, Bimby, I think I'm hoping I'm wrong, but my prediction was a Biden wins means immediate unrest. A Trump win means a slow burn towards unrest. Now, I hope that's wrong, but it does clearly look... See, you hope, too, that some of the people that would do the bad things on the extreme right will understand that even though Trump lost, because it looks like the Republicans are going to hold the Senate, that should definitely soften the blow for it. Even for them, it shouldn't be, a 5-alarm fire anymore or anything. You're going to hold the Senate. That's huge. That means Biden does not come into the presidency with unchallenged power. And hopefully they see that. Cthulhu says Biden is too kind, Trump is too honest, this bad. Yeah, it's... And Biden had to a certain degree, sell his soul a little bit to get elected because he had to pander at least a little to the extremist portions of his party to get elected. As we can see, the election was much, much closer than the pollsters had told us it was. Can after this election in 2020, can we finally and unequivocally say that the polls aren't worth shit? Can we finally get to that point so people stop putting stock in them? So if they find fraud after recount, what happens? Oh, that would be ugly, Flame Enforcer. That would be real ugly. It would obviously end up in the courts, quite potentially up to the Supreme Court. And no matter what happens as the outcome of that, that's when you really start worrying about violence. How would you address Putin or Kim Jong-un? Without going, I don't know how specific you can get, but I would like American foreign policy, and I want to put the headset on, at least I can hear, because then I don't miss when people subscribe to stuff. Hi, Gregory. As far as American foreign policy, I would like to think of mine in a nutshell as one of strength, of realization that we are a responsible military might of the world. I also I have no desire to overextend that. I don't want to get involved in wars. I don't want to get involved in conflicts that don't directly affect the American people. Now, by directly, I shouldn't say just directly, that don't have potential to directly affect the American people. If something's going on in another part of the world and there's no lines I see that can be cogently drawn to where it comes back to affect us, I'm sorry, we can't be world police in that level. We have a lot of allies that I feel strongly should be able to look to us for support, protection, and just as good friends. You guys know me and the whole friendship thing. But we can't be America's police. And the reason I bring that up is that's how I would address Putin and Kim Jong-un. It's like, listen, Russia, North Korea, both. I'd love for our countries to get along. I know we have ideological differences. So what? I'd like for us to work together.
Yeah.
But don't mistake kindness and willingness to work for weakness. Don't fuck with me. That's how I would approach them. Putin more so than Kim Jong-un. Kim Jong-un, I think I would tend to have a little bit more of a hardline stance with because of his volatility, in the respect that it's like, again, listen, dude, we can get along, we can make this nice, but don't push my buttons. Don't try me. Why? It's not going to work out well for you. That's my overall take on that. I don't know if that explained adequately for what you're asking, but it's hard to get into specifics without saying how would you deal with Putin or Kim Jong-un, on a specific topic. Tui says, that's why I've always wondered why both sides can't just sit down somewhere and be civil and talk about the issues while presenting all the actual facts they have. And I think there was a time, Tui, in my lifetime where that happened more often. I think we're beyond the point of no return with that now. And that's what I'm talking about when I say Curtis 2024. It's got to stop. And I don't see it. It's the vitriol is going to get worse, guys. We know, I'm not rooting for it. It's just a fact. Do you know how pissed off Trump supporters are going to be now that on election night Trump looked like he was winning, all the betting lines were heavily in favor of Trump and everything? Then these mail-in ballots that have been such a sticky issue anyway come in and swing it back for Biden. That anger is not going away anytime soon. And again, I thought it might be tempered by the fact that it looks like the Republicans are going to hold the Senate, but I don't have a lot of confidence that's the case. And people have said before, I was talking about this, and somebody said, well, why don't you just start out running locally or running for, a seat in Congress? Because you can't. There's too many kids. There's too many naughty kids at the table. You got to get somebody at the head of the table that's willing to say, okay, stop. This isn't how we're doing things anymore. We're honestly going to look out for what's best for everybody.
Yeah.
Honestly, because nobody is actually doing that. Nobody is honestly looking out for everybody. They're looking out for the interests of those that got them to that place in office. Zeno Gaines says, hello, I am here to cast my vote for Curtis Candy. Thank you, Zeno. Appreciate the support. Barry says, no notifications. Susan is censoring you like Trump. Oh, we're going to overcome her censorship even. Barry's. She's gonna get on board or she'll get left behind just like everybody else. 25 years old today, Joey. Happy birthday, my friend. 25. God damn, what a good time. Enjoy it, pal. 25. Old enough that you have all the rights and privileges of an adult and still in just the prime of life. I remember what that was like, kinda. Madmint says, would you introduce a new branch of government to police the police? Couldn't help but notice at the shooting you guys had your body cams off. I've got some real strong ideas. As a matter of fact, we can do an entire stream and I'll devote to my speech addressing police brutality and race relations. No, I would not have a branch of government to police the police. Only because I think that's an overreach. Policing is done on local levels. One thing I don't want is I don't want to be heavy-handed big brother as president. However, and I'll give you the abridged version of what I'm trying to say. I would, and I will do this speech for you in a stream if you guys want. I would want to talk to both sides and speak directly to anybody in law enforcement and say to them, listen, think about why you're doing your job. And again, this isn't condescending. I mean, honestly, I just want you to think about why you do your job. When you think about why you're in that job, do you honestly think I'm here because I want to protect people? I want to protect the people that just want to go about their daily life and not be hassled, not be bothered, not be hurt. Or, and be honest with yourself, are you out there thinking, I'm the man. Things are going to go my way now. Somebody might have put me down in the past, but now it's my turn to have the power. If you fall in that category of B, get out. Stop. Get out. Don't do that job. It's not for you. You have to be somebody that's willing to say, as a police officer, I'm going to interact with some of the worst elements of society every day. People without morals, without scruples, that don't care about other humans' lives. You're going to have to deal with them. And in that same day, you're going to have to deal with that person. And then you're going to have to deal with somebody who's just trying to get by in life and is a decent person. And you've got to be able to switch gears from dealing with that criminal to dealing with that person who, like you, is just doing their job and trying to get by. And you've got to be able to do it like that. And that's difficult. And we understand that. But if you can't do it, the job isn't for you. And that's what we're going to be watching for. We don't want police officers in there if they can't turn that switch. And it's very difficult, and we understand it, but it's something you have to be able to do. And then on the other side, the police have a right to go home and be safe every day. If you're encountered with the police, if you're stopped by the police for anything, don't fight them. It's simple. I don't care how upset you are, how you think that all cops are bastards, whatever. Just don't. Everybody has cameras. Feel free to film them. I'm for having body cameras on all the time on all cops. I would be for putting federal funds out there for departments that need to buy body cams. That much I'm willing to say without question. Get everything on tape. But why? Don't be a statistic. Don't be dead and have people protesting on your behalf saying that, fighting with the cops shouldn't be a death sentence. Just don't fight with the cops. Don't. Put yourself in a position of power where if that cop does something to you that's over and above his job, that's beyond the purview of what he should be doing, if he hurts you, if he harms you, if he strong arms you, have it on tape. We'll get rid of him. And you'll probably get paid a lot of money by that municipality. Both sides. Just look at yourselves honestly. And we can make it work. But both sides got to work on it together. But that's a very short version of my whole stance and my whole potential speech on that. Yes, I want police officers that are not there for the betterment of everyone and to protect everyone. I want them out. And I want people on the other side, when you get stopped by a cop, I don't care if you hate cops. You have every right to hate cops. Don't fight them. Okay? Don't make them, because that cop may be somebody who is doing things for all the right reasons, but maybe his last encounter was with somebody who tried to shoot him. And he's on edge. He has a right to be. Why make it worse? Just say, okay, officer, that's what I do. I know I'm just a regular old white guy, but if I get stopped by the cops, I keep my hands where they can see them. Yes, sir. No, sir. And I've had some cops stop me that were complete assholes. But I don't want to fight with them. Why? Tell him if he does anything wrong by me, I'll get him later in court where it really hurts, and I'll get his job. Do that. If Biden wins, do you think they will try to use the 25th to get Kamala as president? Andrew says, I think it's a real possibility. Let me put it this way, Andrew. I think the Democrats will basically not have Biden's back to any real degree at all. I think they would prefer Kamala in office. Not all of them, of course. A good hunk of them. So I don't think he's got much wiggle room for error. Put it that way. I don't think they will have his back to any large degree whatsoever. Do I think that's an intention? Probably not an intention, but I think they realize it's a real possibility, the 25th Amendment on him. Zeno says, when you become president, make anime the most powerful thing ever to watch. Make the Goosh Party strong. I'll happily become your representative. Yes, anime. As I mentioned before, guys, I would think in our administration, not that our relationship with Japan has been bad at any time over the last several decades. I mean, there was that whole we slipped and dropped a couple of bombs over there thing, but we've moved past that as a nation some time ago. But hey, Bob, all that said, because of my love for anime that will carry over clearly into the White House, I think our relationships with Japan will be as strong as they've ever been, and completely ironclad. Curtis Candy and Big F and Asteroid 2024 F it all. No, berries. That's what I want. As president, I want all of us to not have to root for the Big F and Asteroid, because that's where a lot of us are right now. Wolverine says, check my last post. Okay, let me catch that quick. A few hours ago, I got pulled over. It had been an hour since I had any alcohol. I was given a breathalyzer test, and I was honest. I was let off with a warning. It helps to be respectful. Well, that's the thing. And I'm willing to admit that. Does always being respectful mean every interaction with the cops is going to go well? No. It means a huge percentage of them will. And this is what I'm telling the people who are stopped by them. Put yourself in a position of power. The way you do that, the way you have a position of power in that interaction with the police, is to do everything right. Let the cop do the wrong thing if he's a wrong type of cop. Don't fight them. Don't try and get away from them. Don't give the other side any reason to say, well, because, I am a believer that if a police officer has to pull his weapon, you don't shoot in the leg. You've done something egregious enough that you're probably not going to survive it. Don't do that. It's simple. Don't fight them. Zeno says, well, I have to go now. I have to go to work. Bye. Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Zeno. And thanks for the little cup of sticky stuff. Thanks for being in while you could, pal. Juan says, if you're a white man, you'll be retained 5 times in your life much. If you're black, you'll live with this every... Listen, and I don't think we actually have numbers on that, Juan. Are black people pulled over? Yeah, I've told you guys before, back when I lived in California, it was like, we made jokes out of everything. The gym I went to and all my friends. And we would even make jokes about it. You know, if we were going to go out and do something together and any of my black friends were along with us, it would be like a running gag that, oh, Curtis or one of the other white guys, better let him drive so we don't get pulled over. It's been known for some time. And I'm not for that. That would be something that would be addressed. What I'm saying, though, Juan, is takes it a step further. If you're going to get pulled over, I know it's a hassle. And I know it's very frustrating to be getting pulled over at a much higher rate than your white counterparts, but just don't fight with them. Document everything. Tell the story. This is what I wanted to get. You telling the story and having you're getting, like you say some poor black guy gets pulled over 5 times in a year by the cops, never for having done anything real other than just suspicion of being black. Document it. Document it. Let us know about it. Go to your representative about it. Let it come all the way up to the president so the president, Curtis, can say, listen, this is what's got to stop. Now, if you have a reason to pull somebody over, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, that car is swerving, I don't care what color they are, absolutely pull them over. But if you don't have any real good reason other than, kind of late tonight, buddy, why are we pulling them over anyway? You know what I'm saying? Yes, I would love to see that number fall more into line. Now, because there are a significant number of black people in high crime areas, I think that will lean towards there's always going to be a significant number of black people pulled over, but it's way out of whack now. I completely agree with you. It's way too over the edge. My point takes it a step further because that getting pulled over at a higher rate is definitely an issue. The bigger issue is, don't escalate it into a situation where somebody gets hurt. That's my big thing. Wolverine says years, not hours. I lost. What do you mean on your last post? Now I gotta remember. I gotta remember what we said. Okay. A few hours ago. I didn't even catch that because I read that as hours in my head. I think because I knew what you meant. I got pulled over. It had been an hour since I had any alcohol. Oh no, you said a few years ago I got pulled over. Then I was getting breathless. Okay, now I didn't. No, I didn't read that right. I thought you were actually talking about a few years ago. So it was just recently. But that's what I mean. I do the same thing. It's not. Again, I'm just a lily white old guy, and when the cop pulls me over, I do it. But it's for the same reasons because I don't want a problem. Who the hell needs an extra problem on top of it? I figure if I'm polite and I do everything the right way, if he does something wrong, I'm gonna fucking get him later. And by that I don't mean something sinister. I mean in court. I'm gonna sue him, and I'm gonna sue the municipality that he works for, and I'll win. Omega Delta Phoenix says scary religious right with anime titties 2024. The extreme religious groups, they're just gonna love me. Just took a big dump and popped a hemorrhoid. Oh, you made my ass cheeks clench when I read that, Barry's. Help, he says. Oh, yikes. Yeah, that made me clench up hard. Andrew says, can we make bad anime dubs a punishable offense? I will talk to all the powers that be in Japan about that. Yes. Well, no, actually, you're talking dubs. So no, it would be right here in America. Yes, I will bring in Funimation and any others involved, and we'll have some serious conversations about that. And if 4Kids still exists at any level, I will call them in, and they will all get spankings. Gamers equal cops are racist. See, but that's not true in general. Obviously not all cops are racist. And again, to make a statement like that, you're just weakening the case for everybody. That serves no purpose. That's absolutely not true. Are there racist cops? I'm sure there are. No question there are. But to just say all cops are racist is just ignorant. Um, ooh, Chicken Waffle says, "Feast upon my flesh, Father." That took an interesting turn. President Courtesy with lots of big anime titties. It does, Nate the Great. It absolutely does. And I'll tell you guys right now. I had said it. I'll give you the quick version. As I'm President Curtis. How I would address COVID right now and where we stand with it. And and again, between Trump and now Biden, he's going too far the other way because he saw Trump not do enough. Listen, here's what I'm saying to all of America and by extension the rest of the world. We're several months in to this pandemic. Fortunately, we've learned a lot about how the virus is transmitted. We've made some good strides with learning different methods for treating it, which has brought the number of deaths down, fortunately. But here's what I need you guys to do. I know a lot of you don't like wearing masks. I'm one of them. I hate masks. I feel almost claustrophobic when they're on. But here's why we are wearing them. It's not because we want to control you. And I think if you guys know me as President Curtis, you know that I am not for government control of anything. So I think you can believe me on that. It's simply because it does help. How does it help? The virus is, we know this for a fact. The way the virus transmits is through droplets. I'm speaking, I'm yelling, I'm doing whatever, I sneeze, droplets are in the air, somebody else comes by, encounters those droplets, they get in their eye, their nose, their mouth, something like that. Now you've got the disease as well. The reason the mask helps, obviously, is it keeps the vast majority of those droplets in. It is an inconvenience. All we're asking is, and I'm not the type to be heavy-handed, I don't want to get up in you guys' business. I don't want to say, okay, you can't go here, you can't do this, you can't do that. If everybody is just smart about it, it's not that difficult. If you're out on a walk in a park somewhere, you don't have to wear a mask. The only person you're with is your significant other, and you're going for a nice walk, and you're away from everybody else. We also know, obviously, too, that the virus is much more easily transmittable inside in air conditioning. You know, two things that inside, and then even more so in air conditioned indoors, and not as transmittable outside. So go for that walk. If you're doing something that doesn't require you to come in close contact with other people, that's cool. Don't wear the mask. Oh, have a mask on you. They're light. I keep one in my pocket a lot of times while I'm out walking to the store or something. Keep a mask on you. If you end up in a social situation or you're around other people, pop a mask on. Yeah, is it a pain in the ass? Sure, kind of. But it might help somebody. You know, it might help it from propagating. So put it on for a little bit. If you're in the store, again, you're in an inside area, air conditioning going. There's no way to effectively in the market to effectively social distance. Put up with it for a little while. That's all we're asking you to do. I don't want to mandate it. I don't want to get into your life at all. I just want this stupid fucking virus to go away. That's all. So wear the mask. But I want as many businesses open as possible, as soon as possible. And I want them to open with those guidelines in place. When you go to the restaurants are going to make sure the tables are spaced out. Once you sit down to eat and you guys are together at your table, take your mask off. You know, it's people you're comfortable with. It's your own family, the people you're with every day. That's awesome. Let's keep everything open. Let's keep everything able to keep functioning. Because the fact is, if everybody's doing the right thing, there is still going to be some propagation of the virus. We've already seen, you can't stop it. But we can stem its flow enough to allow us to continue on a semi-normal path. That's it. That's all anybody's asking of you to do. And, you know, we got science working day and night on a vaccine. Will it be ultimately effective? I don't know. We'll find out. We certainly won't give you any bad information. I know a lot of people fear vaccines and especially fear one that's rushed. Listen, we're going to have 100% transparency on how this vaccine was created, what's in it, what we should expect from it. And we're going to try and get everybody through this. But that's all we're asking. I'm not going to make legislation forcing you to do things. I'm asking you to do things just to help one another, to take care of one another. That's it. That's all we're asking. That's my opening statement on COVID. Downlord says, King me. Oh, you're going to take over? Oh, yeah, Zeno. Zeno was right down to the end. Oh, Downlord made the move. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting to see. Downlord, they screwing with you, bro? Susan likes to mess with everybody, doesn't she? Sometimes, as soon as I see a super chat come up, it'll get recognized by the system, and boom, it's there. And now like this, are you real? Downward, what are they doing to you?
Oh,
there it is.
yeah.
Holy shit. There was a delay in that one. Rosa says, President Curtis, what is your opinion on government-funded penis enlargement surgeries? Can't go government-funded on those just because I had to pay for mine. So whoa, wait a second. I mean, no, we're not going to go government funded on those. And then no, I don't want to talk about it other than that. Make some more DBZ show with your boy. Trey Perry says, DBZ show with your boy. I don't know what DBZ show you want me to make with my boy who isn't here. He's at college, but there's nothing left to make. Susan has kicked me out of this twice. Stormstar says, that's no Susanisms will ever surprise me anymore, pal. Let's see. Why is Cool Dude says I'd vote for you, man. I mean, you look like an older Dwight D. Eisenhower. Come on, Cool Dude. Oh man, that was a good news, bad news thing. I appreciate you voting for me, and then it's like an older Dwight D. Eisenhower. Oh, that hurt a little bit. Johnny says, I don't watch it for 2 years and you go from reactions to running for president. Well, in fairness, they're happening at the same time. They're working together. they're coexisting. I'm still doing reactions and running for president, not one or the other. Jake says, starting 2 days ago on Monday here in Michigan, the new guidelines for eating in a restaurant, you have to give your name and phone number as a way to trace COVID case. Yeah, I know contact tracing is a really important part of dealing with the virus, but I think that I get uneasy anytime government entities want to track anyone. Sorry, I just do. And what I said when I was outlining how I would address the nation as per COVID still stands. You can say, okay, now we've got to trace everybody you come in contact with, but the fact still remains, if everybody will just do those simple things that we're asking. Oh, and I should also mention, the washing your hands regularly is huge. And just get used to not touching your eyes, your mouth, your nose, which I think a lot of us have already anyway. But particularly if you're in a situation where you feel like that wasn't 100% COVID secure, wash your hands. You know, keep that hand sanitizer with you as much as you can. Scrub the hands down good. That's how you prevent it from getting in your eyes, nose, mouth, etc. So contact tracing to a degree, there would be dividing lines for that. I'm not comfortable with that, Jake, in Michigan. I'm really not. That's too big brotherish for me. And I know people say, well, it's a pandemic. Yes, it is. But there are still lines to be drawn in the sand as far as people's own personal privacy and what they should expect and not expect from their government. And to be perfectly honest, we still are talking about a significant virus, but we're not talking about something with, an instant death sentence where you have to, I don't think we're to the point with this virus where we have to pull out all the stops and say, okay, any individual liberties are gone. We've just got to stop it. We're not there.
Oh, yeah.
All we're asking is people to do certain things. And if people won't do these certain things, stay away from them. I mean, if you see that person who refuses to wear a mask and is chatting up with everybody and everything, get away from them. Stay away from them. Don't put yourself in that potential harm's way. But yes, then as far as individual stores and stuff like that, they all have every right, just like they ask for, no shoes, no shirt, no service. If they ask you to wear a mask, they have every right to do that. And you have no right to complain because it is their private business. If that's what makes them feel safe and you don't want to wear a mask in there, then you don't get to shop there. That's simple. But I don't want government getting heavy-handed about it. Virtue Cry took over as stream boss. And Virtue Cry says, would you support public funding for facial cosmetic surgery for transgender people if the public option was a thing? I want to make sure I'm understanding that. Would you support it for ugly people in general, or is that too expensive? I like the second question there, Virtuals. Now, see, what, like with any other person in in politics or in a position of public exposure, it's always best when you speak on a topic and it's a topic of which you have personal knowledge. Being an ugly person, I can say no. I think that onus is on us. If we want that surgery, I don't think government needs to help. Listen, this is what I've got to work with. I know what I'm talking about, and if I want to change it, I think that should be out of my pocket. But facial for transgender people, the public option was a thing. I'm not sure what you mean as far as the public option. I'm not sure in what way you're talking about the public option. I'm not generally for any type of government funding of any cosmetics at any level, just because I think that gets too deep into individuals. And the fact is, we are at a time now in our lives here in America where we've really got to try and be fiscally responsible with all the damage that COVID has done to the economy and how far behind the 8 ball we're going to be coming out on the other side of this when we do get beyond it. Yikes. But as far as the ugly thing, I can answer ugly face questions all day. I appreciate that, Dallas, but this is one beat up face. Between the fortunate thing I have is actually, if you look close, you can still see some of them here and there. But all the years of gigging and cutting my forehead and everything, as I've gotten older, I've got these cool lines in my forehead from age that have covered up a lot of the scars. So basically, it just looks like my whole head is scarred up now. Curtis is 1010. He's a goose granddaddy. Well, thank you, Rachel. I appreciate that. That's kind of you to say. Wow, Ham Sandwich says, yo, Gramps, you're looking pretty fine today. You guys are doing great things for my ego here. Maybe I'm not running for president anymore. Maybe I'm going to be a runway model. No, president. You'd be dead in 2024? Why? What's going to happen to me, AJ? That's kind of an ominous outlook to the future. Let's say I'm 59 now, so some quick math tells me 63, and that's all I'm getting? God damn. The Kaiser says, so it's not over. Votes are still coming in, still a close run. It is a close run, the Kaiser. I think Biden's going to win it. I think that the votes are left. Michigan's critical. And I think that the votes are left in Michigan are going to be largely blue. So I will be really surprised if Biden doesn't end up with the win. Let me take a look where we're at right now. But again, I did pretty good this year. Again, I think it looked like I had pretty much every state right except for 2, I'm thinking. So where are we at right now? Michigan's still sitting at 96%. 46,000 behind for Trump. Yeah, I don't think he can make that up. I don't think I don't think the votes that are outstanding are going to go his way. So I think he's in trouble there. Nevada has been sitting at 67 forever. I don't know what Nevada's issue is. North Carolina, I think Trump holds on there. 94%. He's up by 77,000. I think he might hold on there. I know there's a lot yet to come from Pennsylvania. Right now, he is up by 458,000. He might hold on there, but none of it really matters if he loses Michigan. Wisconsin, I think, is going to hold sway for Biden. Arizona will be Biden. Florida, of course, Iowa. I said that one last thing I said last night before we stopped the stream was Biden was ahead in Iowa at the time. That one I had dead on. I said I don't care that Biden's ahead right now. There's no way Biden wins Iowa. In New Hampshire, Biden's going to win. I don't know why they haven't called that officially for him. He's going to win there. And Ohio, Texas. Yeah, I don't think Trump can make up the difference in Michigan, so that's why I think it's over. I feel like Curtis will be an amazing president. Well, thank you, Flip Picks. But we're going to have these streams regularly, and we're going to talk. We're actually going to, as we've done here, and we've had so much fun doing last night, we've done all along. If the dogs don't eat me, we're going to talk about the real issues. We're always going to have a sense of humor here, and you're always allowed to talk about anything you want, even in these streams. But we're going to talk about the real issues. And yes, as president, what exactly I would do. Because again, as I told you guys, the difference is I am genuinely in the middle. I have beliefs that fit with the right. I have beliefs that fit with the left. And conversely, I have beliefs that would make the right aghast, and I have beliefs that would make the left aghast. Is it possible for someone to honestly win as somebody in the middle? Don't know. We've never really seen it attempted. But I will tell you exactly what I feel, why I feel it, and why I would do the things I would do. And I'm not beholden to anybody. I don't feel like I need to protect anybody. The only sponsors I have are you guys. Hey, President Curtis, will you demolish the wall? No, I want to say Chiver. I should have been able to pronounce that. What is it? Chiverouette. Chiverouette. Close enough. Would I demolish the wall? No. But what I would do, I am big on border security because I think it's very important. I think having secure borders for every nation, not just America, people can call it xenophobic if they want. I really don't care what they call it. I think every nation should have secure borders. But I don't think walls are, especially in this era of technology, are necessarily the best way to go about it. I think in some places on the border they work well. What I would do as far as border security is I would want to get with the people that work there every day, that are in charge, the actual working people that are in charge of keeping our border secure, and ask them, what do you need? What is the best way to secure everything up here at the border? The areas, the more desolate areas where, from what I've read, they'll tell you down there that the wall works in some places. In others, it does not. So if you need more surveillance equipment, if you need more manpower, whatever you need, let's go with that. Rather than spend a ton of money on a border wall, if you just need more guards, if you need more people working the border, let's spend the money on that. But I'm very much about border security. I would not demolish the wall, but I would not be looking to complete the wall. I would be looking to have fence where the people that are down there on the front lines of the border say we need fencing. Smithy says, Trump called for Wisconsin recount with 20K difference, less than 1%. He can, but damn, this dog fight seems petty to me. Typically, I'm not sticking up for Trump by any means, Smith, but typically with a less than 1%, a lot of times, it's whoever's on the losing end of that will call for a recount. I don't think the recount is going to change anything, but that's not uncommon. Wow, Virtue City. Now we read that. We read that chat all that time ago, and Virtue City just took over as Stream Boss. Oh, Susan. But yes, Smith, that's commonplace. It's, it is what it is. It's commonly done. Is it petty? Probably, but that's one of the few areas where Trump's done something that's not out of the realm of what's typically done. It's, again, less than 1%. I've seen recounts called when the margin was over 1% even. What about Pennsylvania, though? Who will win that? That's going to be dead tight, Shoddy Channel. That was the only state, in fairness, I can't say I got 48 out of 50. I got 47 out of 49. Because I told you guys last night, Pennsylvania was the only state going into the night that I couldn't call. If I'd have made a call on it, it would have just been like flipping a coin, because I really didn't have a feel for who was going to win it. And now it's the next day after the election, and I still don't. Even where the vote is now, it could easily go either way. Trump's got a significant lead, but of those votes left, I think those are going to be significantly Biden, because a lot of them are from the Philadelphia area. I I can make a call, but Shoddy Channel, it's a 50-50 call. Again, it's a coin flip call. I think Trump might have enough of a lead to hold on. Maybe. But either way, I think that one's going to be dead tight when it's all done. But I don't think it's going to matter. If Michigan stays, as I think it will, with Biden, I don't think it's going to matter because I don't think Trump gets Wisconsin. I don't think he can come back there. Richard says, do you think Biden can flip Georgia? It's pretty close right now. I'm surprised Biden is doing this. I am shocked by Georgia, Richard. I did not think Georgia would be this close. They said Texas and Georgia both could flip. I said no to both. Texas went pretty much exactly where I thought it would. I thought Georgia would mirror Texas, go similar. Do I think he can flip it? Yes, I think it's still within reach. Again, it's up there with Pennsylvania. What I see as what's left to count and where the vote is now, I think it's another coin toss. Yeah, it could go either way. So could Biden flip it? Yes, and that I'm with you. I'm absolutely shocked by that. That one I did not see coming. I heard about that. Stormstar says, wait, Australia banned hentai? The gang was telling me about that on the stream. That's just wrong. I love Australia. You know, if it were real. I love Australia, but you guys made a bad call there. Danny says, what do you think about Trump using the Supreme Court to try and see if he can stay in power and check for fraud? I think the Supreme Court will likely get involved in this election. I don't think it's so much to see if he can stay in power and check for fraud. What he will have to do is he would have to get his lawyers to try and make a convincing enough argument that some fraud may have taken place to invalidate enough votes that he would win. Can I see him doing that? Absolutely can see him doing it. Unlike a lot of people, because people are freaked out because the Supreme Court has a 6-3 conservative edge now, I haven't lost faith in those justices because I mean we haven't seen oh my gosh, why did her name go out of my head? Our most recent justice. Again, you guys know I blank on names every so often. Amy. We haven't seen Amy Coney Barrett in the seat yet, but the others on the conservative side have shown that they will, I hate call it sides of the Supreme Court, but they will vote with the liberals if they feel that that is what the Constitution would warrant. I have faith in the Supreme Court that if Trump brings that and it is garbage and he doesn't have any real basis to invalidate votes, I have faith that the Supreme Court will say, nah, you're done. Bye-bye. So I have not lost faith in the Supreme Court is the bottom line to that. So do I think Trump will go for that? Yes. Do I think it will be successful? Not unless he actually has something genuine. And so far I haven't seen anything that would be a red flag to me. Smith says, did you see 60 Minutes with Trump? He walked out 20 minutes in, mad that he was being asked hard questions. He wanted to be asked his favorite ice cream. Well, I wouldn't say it was that extreme, but yeah, that doesn't surprise me either, Smith. We all know him and his personality. That's why I said I voted for the guy based on policy. As far as a person, not my type. It's never been my type of guy. Didn't like him. You know, being a New Yorker, living in the state of New York, we've known about and been exposed to Trump for years. Never liked him. I always thought he was kind of a douche, and nothing has changed my mind on that. Soder says, wait, what do you mean he has a lead? Literally, at this moment, Biden has more electoral votes with how the undecided are. Trump has to flip a state in order to win at this point. What? I'm not. What are you asking, Soder? I'm not sure what you're saying. I have no idea what you're talking about, Soder. No idea. You're going to have to explain that more, because what I said was I think Biden's going to win, that he has the lead in Michigan, and I don't think Trump has enough left to flip Michigan, and without Michigan, Trump loses. So I'm not sure what you're commenting on. You're going to have to explain that way more, because it sounds like you just tried to contest something I said by saying the same thing. Let's see. President Curtis Schultz says, "Do you agree with government funding for children who can't afford Minecraft?" You know, it's funny, Schultz. Well, you guys know that I'm like Mr. Paternal Instinct. Like when we watch anime and stuff, anything bad happening to kids, it affects me deeply.
Oh,
I don't like anything bad to happen to children. One of the
yeah.
worst things for kids, I don't even like knowing about kids that want to have whatever it is, the latest video game or this, that, or the other, and can't afford it. It really upsets me. um, I wish there was a way and especially, you would think if there was ever a way you could get some bipartisan support for helping kids afford a video game, it would be something as innocuous as Minecraft. Who could think that Minecraft is evil? But that actually hits a chord with me. Any kid that's doesn't have the things that the other kids have, that bothers me. Virtue Cry says, "What should American diplomats do to free the anime breasts in Australia? This is a humanitarian crisis." Yeah, Virtue Cry, I'm with you. I would, as president, I would make a personal appeal to the Australians. That's all we can do. I mean, I guess we could invade. I think that might be a little bit over the top, a little bit of an overreaction. But I would do my best to free the breasts in Australia. Yes, absolutely. Um. Oh, Chrome's got something here. So, Curtis, any thoughts on this exit? Did you mean exit? I didn't think you meant exit poll. Hold on, let me take a look. Let me just look at this real quick, guys. See what it is. According to the exit poll, Trump did better in 2020. Oh yeah, I did see this one. That was kind of shocking, wasn't it? What I'm looking at here, if you guys haven't clicked on Chrome's link, is basically saying that according to the exit polls, anyway, Trump did better in 2020 with every race and gender except white men. White men, he was down 5. White women up 2. Black men up 4. Black women up 4. Latino men up 3. Latino women up 3. Other up 5. That's fairly surprising. Actually, more than for Trump, if there's anybody that should be concerned about that, it's the Democratic Party. Because I don't think they flipped for Trump. I think they flipped away from democratic ideals. Now, Democrats, both sides tend to do this. If you tell them that, they'll bury their head in their sand and say, no, everything we do is right. It has to be somebody else's fault. If the Democrats don't start doing some honest self-reflection about what took place in this election, I think they're in for a world of hurt in 22 and 24. Well, 24 we're winning, so. But, yeah, I think they really need to take a good, hard look. Good, hard. Look at what happened here. Because even though I do think they're going to get the presidency, overall it was certainly not a good night for the Democrats. And it sent a message. Now it's like, do you listen? Do you take that message to heart, or do you, again, bury your head in the sand? Oh, I misheard. Sorry. Okay, so I figured you must have. It's like, that's why I was trying so hard to understand. No, as I said, I don't think Trump has. Michigan is just absolutely pivotal the way everything has worked out. And I don't think with the votes that are out there, Trump can come back in Michigan. I think he could hold Pennsylvania. I think there's a decent chance he holds Pennsylvania. And I think he holds on to North Carolina. But I don't think he gets Michigan. Sajil says, running for president is like taking a hot chick home from a bar. You don't think you can do it, but you go for it because you're drunk. But then you wake up next to her in the morning and realize it worked. That's an excellent analogy, Sajil. I like that. That's well done. As I've told you guys, yes, I am serious about this. Will we be president, all of us, in 2024? Probably not, but what the hell? Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and we're going to give it a hell of a shot. But in all honesty, do I want to be president? Is that something that I would wake up in the morning and go, oh man, that would be the ultimate rush for me? No. I just can't take it anymore. I can't take the state that the nation's in. And I don't see anybody, and even as much as I prefer some of the candidates that are potentially upcoming, like Nikki Haley. I'm a big fan of Nikki Haley's. I don't see any candidate, excuse me, coming up that is going to be able to do anything with their particular stances on issues, is going to do anything to heal the divide. I think 2024 early on has a real good shot of being Kamala versus Nikki Haley. because I don't think Biden will. If he does last his 4-year term, I don't think he'll run for a second term. And I just don't see it ending. And it's got to end at some point. Smith says, you can't be 2024 President, Curtis. Love, peace, and boobs just like JFK. Every major loved leader of these virtues were murdered or accidental deaths. You got a good point there, Smith. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, put it this way, Smith. Once I become president, I ain't taking any parade rides in a convertible. So I am at least going to take that precaution. Xander, President Curtis, I would like to apply for the role of chief of staff and be a public spokesperson. My morals, virtues, and ethics would be no bullshit. Be honest. That's where I am. That's what I'm saying, guys. At least that's what you're going to get with me. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll tell you exactly why I feel, what I would do, how I will legislate, and why. And here's the big question. Here, let me ask you guys this. What do you guys think about this? As far as my presidency, again, I'm going to be honest about everything. I'm an atheist. Is America ready? Would they elect an atheist president if somebody with views like mine? Whereas I have a number of views that would align with things that the religious right supports. I have a number of things that they will find wildly horrific as well. So given all that, is that possible? Because we know that every presidential candidate panders. Even if they've been basically non-religious or barely religious, they become religious when they're running. And they talk about God and God's strength and this, that, and the other because they feel like it gets them votes. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to lie about who I am. Nope. No, they would not elect an atheist. We're going to find out. No, I'll stop you right there, Curtis, for the atheist thing. Not an openly atheist president. You don't think so? You think so? I disagree, guys. I think and no, don't get me wrong. I value you guys' opinions. That's why I asked for it. But I disagree. I like to think that we've evolved far enough. I should point out too. There's a big difference between just being an atheist and being anti-religion, because I'm not anti-religion. I can't be. All the people that are most important in the world to me that I love are religious people. So I'm not anti-religion at all. It's just not for me. It's just plain and simply that I believe all of this was created through a magnificent series of cosmic coincidences that created our universe. But am I willing to acquiesce? Am I willing to admit that I could be wrong? Sure. I could absolutely be wrong about that. But it's just I think roughly 80% of Americans are atheists. Well, the thing is, too, at Dallas, if you look at it, too, guys, amongst the Christian religions in America, and not due to COVID, prior to COVID, attendance and being an integral part of people's lives as far as religion is way down. Way down. Dolphin says, I'm an atheist too, but I think that America isn't mature enough yet. You guys could well be right. I have faith. That's a good way to put it. I have faith that that's not necessarily the case, though. I'd like to think, well, it depends too on how much how much face time with America could a candidate like me get? If I could get enough and actually talk to people about it openly and say, listen, I don't need to have a belief in God to believe in decency. I don't need to have a belief in God to believe that we need to treat each other with respect. And I don't need to have a belief in God to try and do things that are morally correct. All we disagree on is how all of this stuff came to be. That's basically the difference. I don't know, but again, there's no way. That's what my whole presidency, my run-up would be based to, my campaign would be based on, is being honest. So I ain't going to lie to anybody to try and get over. As a Christian, you got my vote. Well, thank you, Pizza Man. There you go. Zephyr, I think that
Oh,
he says I don't get Republican
yeah.
voters. I wouldn't get. It'd be hard to get the extreme right Republican voters. I think Republicans in general. No, I think for my opinion, I think your typical average Republican voter. I think things like the Second Amendment are much more important to them than is religious beliefs. I know to a lot of where I would get hurt with the Republicans a lot is I am pro-choice. Now, the one thing I can say that's different than most, I'm pro-choice, but it's because I believe a woman should be the one that makes the decision on what happens with her body, because I do, however, believe that that is a life she is carrying. But I think it is her moral choice to decide if she wants to end that life that depends on her being the one to take care of it and bring that life to fruition. I don't buy the cop out that a lot of people will give, saying that, well, no, you're not. Abortion doesn't end a life. It's just a clump of cells. We're all just a clump of cells. Abortion clearly ends a life. I think people need to nut up and understand that and acknowledge that. But I think the ending of that life is up to the woman, because she has to be the one to support that life with her own. Virtual Cry says, this was the election for the potheads. 4 states legalize it and 1 medical legalization. Is this progressive or destructive? My big thing on marijuana, guys, is I'm not a pot smoker myself. I don't have a problem with pot smoking any more than I do with alcohol. My one caveat is, for me as president, if you're going to legalize pot, I want strict and harsh penalties for anybody that hurts someone else as a result of smoking a doob. In other words, we do know that pot slows your reflexes. If you're going to get baked and go out driving and you hit somebody else because your reaction time sucked, then I need you to do felony prison time. That's my thing, is responsibility. I'm very much about responsibility. So I don't have a problem with them legalizing pot at all, as long as the responsibility comes with it. Do Republicans Richard says, do you think Republicans have a chance to win a general election with Texas, Georgia, and Arizona trending blue? Oh, absolutely, Richard. Actually, I think, and again, this is just my opinion, I think Biden wins this election, and the whole election bode much better for Republicans. I believe that Texas, I don't even think really has gone that purple. And I think last night bears it out. Georgia and Arizona going purple, I think, is a Trump anomaly. That's my opinion. I think I also believe if the pandemic had never happened, I think Trump probably would have won this. But that said, I think it's absolutely the orange man bad thing that got those states closer to purple. We'll find out soon. We'll find out in 2022 and then more so in 2024. But no, I considering that Democrats were basically counting on extending their lead in the House, and instead their lead is actually going to be cut, and they felt very confident that they were going to take control of the Senate. And I'm seeing it's probably going to come out 52-48 or the same, 53-47. If I was them, I'd be really, really concerned about that. I think there's more to be concerned about from this election from the Democrats going forward. I mean, they're going to be happy with the result of Biden winning the presidency, but I think there's more to be concerned about going forward for them than there is for the Republicans. Matt says violence is awesome. What do you think about Twitter censoring Trump's tweets throughout election night? Chrome asks, yeah, some of what Trump said was typical Trump and bizarre. I mean, claiming victory before the votes are counted and stuff is just pure bullshit. I'm not one for Twitter's censors there much. Listen, people say stupid shit all the time. I think it's the responsibility of the individual taking in information to verify it. I don't need Twitter to tell me if something is on sketchy ground from a factual standpoint. I don't need Facebook to tell me. Apparently, a lot of Americans do, because we had a 2016 election that apparently was heavily influenced by Russians setting up Facebook accounts. That boggles my mind that we allowed ourselves to be stupid enough to be taken in by that. If you read something on social media, verify it. Verify it through several. It won't take you long to sort out what's bullshit and what's actuality. So I'm not a big fan of them, outside of them censoring things like, again, any call to violence. Obviously that's where your First Amendment right ends, or when you call for violence against others. Absolutely censor that. Anything along those lines, the stuff that falls into the category of screaming fire in the crowded movie theater. But outside of that, let people see what other people really are and what they have to say. That's how I believe things should be. Could Bernie have won against Trump given COVID-19? I don't think so, Virtue Cry. And I'll tell you why, guys. I think the proof is right there. When the Democratic nomination process got down to Biden versus Bernie, Biden annihilated him. And Bernie had all the momentum coming in as the others were falling back. And did Bernie get screwed in 2016? Absolutely. Did the fuck off, train? Did the Democratic Party not want him as their candidate? Absolutely. No question about it. But when it got down to Biden versus Bernie, it was his to win. There was nothing more that the Democratic Party could really do to stem the tide of the Bernie-isms that were sweeping. Hey, Jordan. But he got crushed. He didn't just lose those states. Biden annihilated him. Bernie was not even getting anywhere near the support he got against Hillary. And we all know that a lot of people can't stand Hillary. So for those same reasons, and especially now that we've seen that Trump-Biden was this close, I think Trump would have beaten Biden and beaten him handily. I know the burners don't like to hear that, but it is what it is. I think Trump would have won over him significantly. Let's see. Paxlux, do you think the Libertarians are ever going to actually do something in an election anytime soon? No, because what I've said, Pax, what happens is they get browbeaten into not voting for their candidates. Because every time the election comes around, and now you had Joe Jorgensen running on their ticket, you got all the Democrats basically leaning on them saying, well, a vote for Jorgensen is a vote for Trump. You guys are going to be responsible for 4 more years of this orange man bad. And because of that, and it comes around every 4 years, and everybody will tell them, well, you can vote next time for yours. Give us this one. Every time. And every time a significant number of them give in. And so, no, you'll never make progress like that. You have to get to an election where you say, fuck you. I'm going to vote for my candidate. And you got to do it in big numbers. Because the rate it's going, you're never going to make an impact. The Dems absolutely formed up behind Biden to get rid of Bernie. Yeah, Ben, there's no question that the Democrats did not want Bernie as their flag bearer. There's no question about it. But if you're saying the Dems formed up behind Biden to get rid of Bernie, here's the thing. If you're a Bernie supporter and you were counting on Democratic support to get him across the finish line, you were fighting a losing battle from the start. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat. I don't know why people would think that Democrats would just naturally support him. Bernie Sanders was basically trying to start a revolution. And I don't say that in a demeaning manner. I mean, he wanted something entirely new. What he wanted may have fallen more closely in line with Democratic beliefs, but it's not Democratic beliefs. Hey, Master X. So why would you think that the Democrats were going to support you? The other Democrats that were falling out of the race supporting Biden is not a surprise. But that holds true against Trump. If the Bernie supporters could not fall in line strongly enough to get Bernie past Biden, and again, it wasn't close, he got annihilated, people were not going to fall far enough, because a lot of the Democrats would have just stayed home, wouldn't have voted for Bernie. And most, I think, of the middle ground of the people who really are honestly independent would have gone for Trump. And I think that bears out in what happened with Biden. Again, yes, I agree with you. The Democrats didn't want Bernie and did everything they could to sabotage him, but he had every opportunity to beat Biden in head-to-head matchups, and he got crushed, absolutely destroyed. Sir Kamar says, while you're partially right, well, thank you. A big problem in the Libertarian Party is that the same options provided by the party don't hold the values that the party is supposed to stand for. Same options provided by the party don't hold the values that the party. Well, I think there's at some level sin. I think that's true at some level with all the parties. But again, as long as you guys, as long as they're willing to let people browbeat them into not voting for the candidate, no, they're not going to get ahead. Random says, just random jokes. Really, Jared? Are you worried about the possibility of complete civil unrest upon the final results, or do you think people can deal with the results? Not sure, Random. I am. Am I worried? Yes. Yeah, I am. I had said at the top what I was hoping for is that these people, the extremists on the right, can see that, okay, Biden wins the presidency. That's not what you wanted. But if things fall as it looks like they're going to, and you're going to keep an advantage in the Senate, that's not as dire as you think it was. Because immediately, if the Senate's going to be, like I predict, either 52-48 or 53-47, packing the courts is off the table. That's it. You're done. That's a Democrat wet dream that's not going to come to fruition now. So if there's enough semblance of sanity among these people to look at the bigger picture, hopefully that will quell the violence. If the Democrats had taken the Senate and they had taken the presidency, I think there would be a stronger possibility. I do think there will probably be some pockets of unrest, but I'm hoping that the way this all fleshed out, cooler heads will prevail. That's the best I can tell you, Random. Basically, that was a roundabout way of telling you I'm just not sure. Troll, good name, Troll Drool. In my country, when the right wins, the left accepts the result without controversy. Yeah. When the left wins, the right accepts the result without controversy. That's part of democracy. That's how it used to be here, Troll. I mean, there was always, back in the day, and you're stream boss now, back in the day, there was always hurt feelings on the side who lost. But there was never any talk of serious violence or anything along those lines. I mean, it was just like, oh, damn it. I think, of course, social media has a lot to do with that, because you couldn't get together in big, massive numbers and hate each other online in real time like you can now. So I think that has a lot to do with it. But yes, that's... Excuse me. Sorry, guys. That's the way it used to be. I wish it was the way it is now. But yeah, you got the right. You're making the right call. That's how it should be. I mean, as long as it's a fair election, which, despite what Trump says, I have seen no indications to indicate otherwise. You lost. Deal. It's just like I told everybody. A lot of people asked me that, because once people knew I was voting for Trump, I got a lot of people ask me on here, well, what are you going to do if Biden wins? Because they want to see that, that big reaction or that powerful reaction. It's like, what am I going to do? I'm going to get up and I'm going to record anime reaction videos. I'm going to come hang out with you guys, and I'm going to play with my family and all the things I would normally do. And because my guy didn't win as an American citizen, I'll do my best to try and counter the proposals of the new president that are things with which I don't agree. But that's it. Gon says last post. Okay. Where are you at, Gon? Excuse me. Let's be honest here. A large number of people wanted Biden only because they've heard his name before. Voted on, oh yeah, he was with Obama and not on policy. I think even more than that, Gon. I think, and when I asked this question in the stream last night and the day before, a lot of people agreed with me. I think this election was more of a pro-Trump versus anti-Trump. Biden just really doesn't seem to get a lot of people excited. Now, when Obama won twice, it was because people got pumped up and they were excited for Barack Obama. But with Biden, I think he just happens to be the guy in the sea. he's along for the ride. I believe this election was all pro-Trump versus anti-Trump. Cheyenne says, I haven't checked up on the protests lately, the results either. I've just been trying to do homework. Well, Cheyenne, for those of you who don't know, is right in D.C. Seems like the protests last night quieted right down. Again, last I saw anyway, Cheyenne. Results, looks to me like, again, Biden has taken the lead in Michigan. And I think he's going to hold that lead because I think the votes that are left out there are predominantly blue votes anyway. And I think Michigan cinches it for him. Let's see. Oh, brother E, you're talking to Soda. With Wisconsin under his belt, he needs to have two more, so either hold both or just one flip another. Biden. Oh yeah, Biden's looking really, really likely. And again, it's still, don't get me wrong, still possible, but we're doing percentages all night. I'd put it right now at 85-15 Biden. Saying Trump has a 15% chance, I think would be as generous as I could be where it stands right at the moment. But 15% is still a chance. Oh, they did. Did they give Biden Wisconsin officially? That doesn't affect the percentages I just gave because I already figured Biden was getting Wisconsin. But did they made it official? Make tits the symbol of America. I'm for that, Black Lycan. Hey, Deuce says, she can legally do shrooms in D.C. now. That's true, Cheyenne. They're going to need it. Cheyenne said, I've been told I may have both permanent brain fog from COVID and possible ADHD. It's been a fun week. Really? For those you know, Cheyenne has also been diagnosed with COVID. Permanent brain fog? I hope that doesn't turn out to be the case, Cheyenne. Jesus Christ, I don't want you living in my world, which it sounds like a joke, but it's true. I don't want you to be permanently brain fogged. I mean, at least, you know, mine wasn't from a virus. It was from metal folding chairs, but it still sucks. Oh, wow. Yeah, like I say, Biden winning Wisconsin, that doesn't affect what I said for numbers because I already figured he would. So I still say it's, again, I call it 85-15 for Biden right now. Scout says, I think the major reason Bernie didn't go against Biden harder was because not only was he too nice, but also because of the shook he might have been from the 2016 election. I disagree, Scott. I think he went all out. I just don't think, I know a lot of his supporters don't like to hear this. I just don't think there's enough universal support in America for his policies yet. Will there be someday? I don't know. With him getting older and fading out of the picture, will AOC and the like be able to keep his momentum going? That remains to be seen. Virtue Cry says, looks like Trump got some more votes in Michigan, dropping Biden's lead from 44 to 38. Yeah, it was 44 last I saw. Still not enough, only 4% of the vote left. Yeah, that's what I think. I think it's going to be dead tight, Virtue Cry, but I think Biden holds on. Yeah, I do. Yeah, Jesus Christ, Cheyenne. I hope this isn't the case at all. Jesus. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go. Thank you very much for the stream. We're good, and it is. Spread the word as much as you can. Let's get as many people into these streams as we can. Curtis 2024. We'll find out. We'll see what people think. It'll be nice to get more and more people in here. See what people think about the potential of a slightly brain damaged ex-professional wrestler, ex-garbage man, current atheist running for president. Just when I described it that way. How can you not vote for that? And okay, sticky stuff is not a part of political streams, but the sticky stuff will be back in our regular chat streams regularly. We'll be back in our regular chat streams regularly. That might have been just a hair redundant. But yeah, in closing, as far as the election, for those who just came in, I know a lot of people have been asking. My opinion, it looks like Biden's. Here's my takeaway. Biden is going to win the presidency. Overall, it was a very bad night for Democrats. Those are my two takeaways. I think the Democrats need to finally stop trying to blame other factors and figure out why things didn't go the way they thought they were going to last night. And if they don't, I think 2022 and 2024 are going to be really bad for them. Well, thank you, Sin. I appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me in this stream. Be plenty more of these coming. Also, I think I titled this stream, it was Curtis 2024, hey, why not another old white guy? If you think of any more good taglines for my campaign, by all means, feel free to hit me with them in the comment section of these streams. We need a good tagline. My presidency, I promise you will have a sense of humor. I'll talk to you guys later.